Hello and Happy New Year. I'm Marquette and this is Mind Body Dallas. If you've been with me for a while on Instagram or my podcast or here on YouTube, all are called Mind Body Dallas, then you remember that I love having a New Year's mantra, and 2023 was free to be me in 2023. Usually they rhyme. They don't have to rhyme. 2024 was less is more in 2024. No surprise in 2025, which doesn't mean to sound so cynical, but it was like, no matter what, I'm prepared. God's got this. God's not surprised by anything that comes our way. He knows the beginning and the end. He knows everything that we're going to go through. And we're prepared. And also, for anything good that happens, you can't be surprised, right? Because you're calling in, you're expecting the best. So you're expecting miracles, you're expecting the best. You're not surprised when these miracles manifest in your life. Less really was more in 2024. That was like the beginning of so many things, of really understanding the power of being calm. You remember we talked about the more I relax, the more I attract. The more I relax, the better my marriage. The more I relax, the better my finances. That was all Kate Northrup's book, Do Less. And anyway, I definitely think that is coming into fruition for me here in 2026. No one to fix in 2026. So if you're like me, you may often find yourself in positions to help or rescue, or if you're addicted to cleaning, then you're always making messes, or at least finding messes and things like that. And it's like, are you really attached to that identity of yourself that's always rescuing and helping? Now, if you remember, I've talked about the empowerment dynamic by David Emerald several times, and I want to bring it up again today, that you are moving from one triangle to another triangle. You're disempowered to you're empowered. So the disempowered would be rescuer, and who is the rescuer always rescuing? The victim. And what is the victim? What is the rescuer rescuing the victim from? Well, some persecutor, right? There's always someone doing them dirty, or there's always a person, place, or thing that's out to get them. So the job is bad, or the car is bad, the groceries are bad, the government is bad, the mom is bad, the dad is bad, someone is bad, someone's out to get them at all times, and you're always in there rescuing. Or maybe your identity is victim, or maybe yours is you're always beating someone up, you're the persecutor. So in the empowered would be then you, if you find yourself always the helper or the rescuer, you are now then transmuting that and alchemizing that rescuer, disempowered, to an empowered personality, which is your coach. So you're coaching that person, but who does the victim become? The victim then is a creator. So you're co-creating with God. You're helping that person understand that they are creating their lives, they're creating their reality, and they're stepping into their empowered version of themselves. Now, this person, which can be you can vacillate between all of those two, because to someone you're probably the helper or the rescuer. To someone else you're probably the victim of life. Something you have someone that you call and that always rescues you also. Or to someone else you're always the bad guy. You're always the persecutor, right? And then you're empowered. You have people in your life that you are always coaching. So you're the coach to someone, but also you have someone that you call 911, and when they answer, they're your coach. So that is, and you get to be the creator. Now, the persecutor then alchemizes and transforms into an empowered challenge. So this is all about perspective. I don't see that as that person, place, and thing persecuting me anymore, but that thing in my life is an opportunity for growth. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is that there's no one to fix in 2026, nothing to fix in 2026. All of these things are just opportunities to help us grow, and helping you understand that there's nothing outside of you to fix. It's all inside of you. It's within you. everything. So we talked about David Emerald and the empowerment dynamic. And of course, you've heard me talk about FISBE, the acronym FISBE. So what you focus on intensifies. Where your attention goes, your energy flows there. And that becomes your addiction or your main focus, or what you manifest in your life. That becomes your God, if you will. You're worshiping that thing. Now you have the freedom to choose whether you are worshiping worries, lack, scarcity, the illusion of these things. If you are always worshiping and talking about complaints and negativity in your life and the government and everything, then your energy flows there and you are manifesting more of those things, right? Because the English language is very literal. We literally pay attention. We pay with our currency. That is the number one currency, like Instagram and YouTube and all these things are trying to get you to pay attention to them, because it can literally be monetized. Your attention. If you don't give someone your attention, then they're going to go to someone else who will pay them attention. If you don't, you get it, right? So we're paying attention to these things in our lives, and that is what grows, because where your energy flows, that thing grows. Whether it's a person, place, or thing, it's a problem, it's your money. If you're focused on your money and growing your money, it will grow. If you're focused on your problems and your chaos in your life, it will grow. So you have to make sure that you are not worshiping and idolizing your problems and chaos in your life, because that will become God to you. God is a law. If you've heard me for several years talking about a lot of the books I've read, one of which is the Working with the Law by sorry, Teddy got over here, got distracted, and I can't remember, it'll come to me in a minute, but Working with the Law, and it's the 11 Truth Principles for Successful Living. So on my podcast, which if you can find it, it's Mind, Body, Dallas, it's the 11 laws, and I break down each one of the truths. So there's a 30-minute big breakdown of each law. So it'll take you several hours to get through that, but it's worth doing a deep dive on all of those. I'm not going to go through it right now, but the law of sacrifice, the law of success, the law of attraction, all of these laws, there are 11, and it's like a law of gravity. God is an energy. He's not just some people don't even like to say he, it, or the universe, or source, or whatever you want to call it. He is not just a God, a man sitting in a throne, on a throne, in a chair, looking down from the heavens on us. He's moving through us. It says in the Bible that there's a spirit, the Holy Spirit is at work within us. God is in everything. It's an impersonal, God is an impersonal energy. And when I say impersonal, in other words, it doesn't favor you because you're cute or you're likable, or you're bad or good. The laws are like gravity, like whether you're good or you're cute or you're little or you're small, you're old or young, if you fall out of a window, you're going to hit the ground. And so these laws are easy as working with the laws of gravity. So that being said, we all have the freedom to worship what God we want, the God of our choice, worry, fear, peace, whatever. You have to make sure that what you're focused on, FISBE, so it goes back to that FISBE that I was talking about earlier, what you focus on intensifies. And this is true. So what you focus on grows. That creates your inner state, your focus or your feelings. If you want to think of F for focus or for feelings, those things create your inner state. Your inner state is the most important thing. It's number one, not anything outside of you. So when we externalize, that's your first problem, is when you think anything outside of you is controlling you. When you think anything outside of you has power over you, you have given that thing, that person, place, or thing, that circumstance, your power. So it has power over you only because you've given it power, which means you have the power. which means you have to get your power back by going back to your inner state, which is your peace, your calm. Calm is number one. I know I've said that once, I've said it twice, I've said it 100 times. Calm is your first priority, your inner state. That creates your behavior, which creates your environment. In other words, your feelings, what you focus on creates your feelings and your beliefs, and that creates your reality, or your manifestations, what you manifest in your life. So you have to do what Paul talked about in his letter to the Philippians. Focus on what it says, be anxious for nothing, but focus on whatever is true, honorable, right, and pure, lovely, admirable, and excellent, and worthy of praise. Why? Because if you focus on those things, that will create an inner peace of gratitude and joy and peace. Do you hear that bird? That is so funny. He's like, pay attention to what she's saying. Pay attention. I think birds are very spiritual. Anyway, so do not, when you come into a person, place, or thing that's rubbing you the wrong way, it means you're out of alignment with that thing. Say it's triggering you. Everyone, the word now is trigger. If it triggers you or brings up some resistance, it feels like sandpaper, and it doesn't feel like good sandpaper, like, oh, this is probably good for me to, rub off all these rough spots in my life. No, if it feels like, okay, I don't like this, or I'm feeling really upset about that, notice your inner state, notice your feelings, notice what you're focused on, and then shift it back, because don't take it personally. If you've ever read the 4 Agreements, don't take anything personally. These people are programs first. First, they are a program. Everything is in motion, and everything can change. Everything does change, but some things don't change very much. Like, for instance, some people don't change very much. So don't try to talk butterfly language with caterpillar people. Now, everyone can change. That's their free will. Will they change? Maybe not. Not everyone came here to this world for the same purpose, to change. And if you came to transform and to have change your family tree and to have radical gratitude and amazing peace and joy, and if you grew up in a household where everything was constantly on fire and you're running around with your hair on fire all the time, you don't have to live like that now. We call that a generational curse, but sometimes it's just observation, like what things you've observed with your friends. Maybe you observed people that were always in chaotic relationships, or you observed lots of TV that told you, like the news, that told you that everything is bad and terrible and you should be in fear and worry all the time and looking over your shoulder. Because you've observed so much of that, then you've internalized that, and your inner state is now focused on fear and worry and doubt and lack. You can change that, and if you want to change that, I'm going to give you the recipe. But if someone you know doesn't want to change that, that's their prerogative, that's their program, that's their choice, that's their freedom. And 2023, back then, I was free to be me. I'm free to be me, and I want to live and let live. I want you to be free to be you. I want to give everyone the dignity to live their own life, and you should also give that same dignity for everyone to live their own story. Not everyone comes to the same conclusions at the same time, but not everyone comes to the same conclusions, and not everyone has the same preferences. Okay, like I said, they're programmed. Think of it like this. Don't take it personally. If you walk into a restaurant and you're with 14 girls, you're probably going to get 14 different orders. Not everyone wants to order, say, I might want to order meatballs with spaghetti, with a salad, with a vinaigrette, like an Italian vinaigrette. Well, someone else might want ranch, and someone else might want the sea bass, and someone else might want strawberry cake, but I want chocolate cake. Listen, don't take it personally if someone is enjoying their strawberry cake. If they order strawberry cake, it is not your job to fix it, correct it, analyze it, try to talk them into chocolate cake. They want a strawberry cake experience right now. And it's really none of your business. Now, some people come to me and they'll say, but Marquette, this person, when they order strawberry cake and they want to have their strawberry cake experience, well, then it's on me to fix all of their problems, and they wait for the last minute to do this, or they don't save enough money and they find themselves in a predicament, or fix the roof while the sun is shining, right? That's the chocolate cake way. But this person wants to wait and do it the strawberry cake way, and they want to do it, you get it, what I'm saying. It's different experience. Okay, so then it's on me. I have to do this, and no, you don't. You don't have to fix it. Let them fail. It's okay for them to experience their own consequences. That's how they can learn, and they may never learn. Some people are addicted to suffering. That's their choice. Everyone has an addiction of choice. Some, it's positivity. Some, it's beer. Some, it's chocolate cake. Some, it's chaotic relationships. Some, it's love and joy and peace. Some people, suffering is so interesting. Struggle and suffering. Some people feel like they aren't worthy of an easy life. Some of that, like I said, is observed. What did they observe in their childhood with their parents? Sometimes you would call this a generational curse. Some people, you have friends like this, where lots of things in their life is very easy and certain things in their life is hard. Well, that's because they're perceiving it as hard. So for instance, if you grew up in an environment where health and wellness was very easy, you always had very easy access to free, fresh, clean water and wonderful fruits and vegetables and a garden and animals and sunshine and dirt to play in and dirt to walk around barefoot in and horses to ride bareback, and you had access to all of these wonderful, healthy, healing opportunities, well, then that's going to feel easy for you. Okay, maybe you meet a friend who, for them, it was always very stressful. I can't eat organic because it's expensive. Well, that's a lie they're believing, and they're perceiving that as truth. Truth is only true if you believe that it's true. For you, like every truth is a half truth. I've heard that said and it's weird. Anyway, let's not get into that right now because it's very philosophical. Your truth is true to you. You will manifest everything that's true to you. If you believe that eating healthy is hard, then it will be that will be true for you. If you believe that love is hard and that you are not lovable because, say, your parent taught you that, or you saw your parents fighting all the time, or maybe you came from an environment where your parents met in 6th grade, they got married when they were 19, they have 4 kids, and they have 27 grandkids now, and life is so happy and healthy and wonderful and easy. You probably believe that love is easy, and you probably have a life that reflects that truth because it's true to you. But someone that might order strawberry cake or chocolate cake or meatloaf, they don't have that same truth. See, it's be, do, have. You can't just focus on what you want to have. You have to think, what does that person have and what do they do to have that thing? Who are they? I have to be that person that would do that thing, that would have that lifestyle, or have that money, or have that husband, or have that body. You know people that it's just seems so effortless, that fitness is a part of their life and they grew up that way, and fitness is easy for them, health is easy for them, love is easy for them, finances are easy for them. And we even have a habit in this world, this culture of, maybe you would call it collective consciousness. We even have, you see it all the time on TV, oh, the struggle is real, or oh, you almost look at someone with disdain that was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or that they were given everything. They didn't have to work hard for their money. They're a trust fund baby. Everything was given to them, and we almost are jealous of that. But it's just jealousy. I saw a meme the other day. It said something like, if you are in the streets starving and have no money, no one will care. But if you are happy and fit and beautiful and at the top of your game, it had a crowd of people staring at her like with frowns on their faces. Like, people are going to care. They're going to be mad, and it's like some people will not be happy for you because it's so different, because our culture is so stuck in the matter, in like the physicality of the grind. We're in a very much a hustle culture. Hustle, work hard, grind, work here for 35 years, give 35 years of your life away to this job that you hate. You better earn your way to the top. And then someone swoops in and gets an easy promotion and you hate them, right? And it's like, all of that is bad thinking. That is stinking thinking at its finest. We need to be happy for people and want to see people doing it the easy way, and easy money, and easy love, and easy parenting, and easy children, and easy to be parents. Like, why do we say, oh, having kids is such a sacrifice? Like, we need to quit talking like that. Anyway, the more you raise your vibration, the rest of the vibration of the world will raise too, will rise up. A rising tide raises all boats. Is that the saying? So anyway, that being said, don't judge the program. Don't judge the person, judge the program. Like, that might be an unacceptable program, but that's because of you. You've decided that's an unacceptable program, and it's none of your business. They might be here in this world, on this earth, to experience that program. I don't know if I believe in past lives or future lives or soul groups or soulmates, or I don't know. It's fun to talk about. It's very philosophical. We'll never know. But the string theory and quantum entanglement says, we're all connected, and maybe we're just we're having different experiences, and why not give that person the dignity to experience what they want? Why is it any of your business? Why not just you, but me? I found that I have been stuck sometimes in my own self-righteousness, pride, ego. I hope that if you knew me, if you are watching this and you knew me when I was 18 and 19 and 25, that you will please forgive me, because I acted in such an inappropriate way of self-righteousness and pride and ego. Guess what? I'm much older than that now, and I still find myself slipping into that old dead body, and I don't want to be her anymore. I don't want to be prideful and egotistical and my way or the highway. I want to be lovable and loving and kind and adorable and a cheerleader for all the good things, and more accepting and observant. I'm just watching things. Why is it my business that this person that ordered strawberry cake, should order chocolate cake or vanilla cake or whatever? And also, if there's a different recipe for each cake, maybe somebody wants to try strawberry cake today, and that's a different recipe. The recipe for financial peace and wealth and health is totally different. Like I said, you would have to be, to do, to have. The person that's an herbalist on a mountaintop they are an herbalist on a mountaintop. They are doing very different behaviors than this tennis pro down in Miami. They have different behaviors, different focuses, different daily activities. What if you're a scientist? You're going to get different downloads from your brain and your body, and you're going to be taking different actions, and you're going to have a very different life. You're going to have you have a different recipe, so you'll have a different experience, a different conclusion. If you follow the recipe for chocolate cake, you're not going to get meatloaf at the end. So don't argue with that process. Don't argue with the recipe. Don't argue with the program. Everything is in motion. We live in an ocean of motion. Emotion, energy in motion. My emotions are ebbing and flowing, and sometimes I have high vibrations of peace, love, and joy, and sometimes I get down here in lower vibrations of apathy, and even lower vibrations of fear and ick and hate and anger. Anyway, the faster I can come back up to high vibrations of peace, love, and joy, that is better for me, for my health, and for my calm. Because when emotions are high, clarity of thought is low. It's like a seesaw. But when emotions come back down, this intensity, remember, intensity is a red flag. Every deep and heightened emotion, all those deep, intense emotions, they make your clarity of thought go down. But if you can bring your intensity down, come back to that calm state, then your clarity of thought will go back up. That's why Jesus always went away before these big miracles. He went into the deep chambers of his heart, and he went into solitude, and he communed with God, and he got aligned and attuned with the frequency of God. And then these miracles came, and not from a high intensity or a high and intense emotional state. So notice those things. Back in the day, maybe you would call it the old world. In the old world, you would call the person that was the strongest, the fittest, the strongest, the fittest, the tallest, the biggest, they would win. But now it's less physical and it's more spiritual. It's more of an energy. So you would say, let me say it like this. Basically, well, I can't find it. But anyway, it's whoever can have the conviction longer. So whoever can hold that conviction longer to their idea or belief, that's who wins. It's whoever doesn't waver. It's the frequency. It's not a physical strength like arm wrestling, like two big, beefy dudes. It's whoever can win in this competition. That's the highest vibration, or the highest, the most intense feeling wins. So, like I said, you get to choose who you get to worship. Your God becomes then this, whoever you worship the most, whichever feelings you give the most intensity to. So if you want to really focus on one thing, focus on peace, focus on joy, focus on being quiet, focus on being calm. If you find that you're in a really intensely angry spot, you have to come back down to calm. Smooth out your breathing, learn to meditate, learn to be calm. It's number one. The way you look at life is the way life looks at you. So if you know and you believe and you expect life to be calm and abundant and loving and benevolent and safe, then you will have a calm, loving, safe, abundant life. Because that's what you truly believe, and that's what you expect, and that's what will happen, because that's what you're vibrating out. So you will only be in a frequency and a vibrational match, in attunement with those things. Like I said, you be, you do, and you have. First, it comes being. I am being calm, so I am doing calm things, and I have a calm life. Rather than someone who is being chaotic, they are chaotic, they're being chaotic, they are a chaotic being, they are a dramatic being, they're a drama queen. So then they always do dramatic things, chaotic things that are always getting them into trouble, and intense feelings of lack and scarcity and worry and shame and guilt. And then they have a shameful, guilty, terrible, in the ditch, chaotic, dramatic life. You get to choose. I do what I do because I am who I am, right? That's the old saying of, I do what I do because I am who I am. So sometimes when you're doing something in the moment, you can think, why am I doing this? Well, because do I still want to be her? Because that's what happens in the moment. In reality, this is when we get to say no. It's whichever frequency, it's the one that I can hold the longest will win. So in that moment, you go back to what you want to be. I want to be calm. And if I can hold conviction, what I told you earlier, conviction and belief, that creates our reality. If I can hold that conviction longer than this circumstance or this person, this place, this thing that has power over me. Why? Because I've given them power. If I can take my power back, which is where? Inside in your inner chambers of your heart, your inner state, then that creates your behaviors and your environment. So you go back to that conviction always. In the Bible, in the book Numbers, chapter 13, I think it's verse 33, it says that the giants came and they looked at the giants and we were grasshoppers to them. So the giants then saw them as grasshoppers. What does that even mean? It's what I said earlier. The way you look at life is the way life looks at you. When they said, I'm looking at these giants and we were mere grasshoppers, that means I looked at this big problem and I was small. Then the problem looked back at me and saw me as small. The giants saw them as grasshoppers. So when you see something as a big problem, my engine went out in my car, my transmission went out. I looked at my bank account and it was $800. My sister fell and broke her. I don't even want to say that because I have a sister and I don't want to speak anything evil or sad or heartbreaking over anybody. So, okay, there's a problem with a person, place, or thing. There's a circumstance that's bad that I'm perceiving as bad. Instead of seeing that thing as bad, I can alchemize it as an opportunity. What am I supposed to learn here? How can I transform this thing? Not by transforming the outside. Remember what I talked about, externalizing my power, but how can I internalize my power and alchemize that thing? In other words, manifest this thing. I have power over that thing because it has no power over me. It cannot change my inner state. As I change, all conditions will change. First, you have to change. Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp and he went on to write A Man's Search for Meaning, and he has a famous quote that says, when you are no longer able to change a situation, you are challenged to change yourself. When you are no longer able to change a situation, you are challenged to change yourself. Meaning, my internal environment, my inner state. This thing used to trigger me and make me do circles like a whirling dervish, right? I would have been spiraling with that news 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. These things, these circumstances would have had control over me. Now I get a flat tire, I go fix it. I don't call anyone, I don't tell anyone, it's fixed. Have the money, get it done. I don't even have to miss work. Stub my toe, no big deal. It's like you don't even have issues anymore. Life is easy. Why? Because I believe life is easy. The more you believe life is easy, the easier it will become for you. That's a beautiful thing. And not everyone wants to follow that easy recipe. My husband is quick to remind me, don't compare your strengths with other person's weakness. That is a belief. I agree with what he's saying, and he's right. Don't be self-righteous and whatever. You have decided something is easy, so it is. You have decided you're a grasshopper, so you're a grasshopper. Do you see what I mean? You've decided you're going to struggle and be small, and that thing has power over you, so that's true. Or I've decided something is going to be easy, and so it is easy for me. The way I look at life is the way life looks at me. Is math really easy, or is math easy only because I've decided it's easy? See, I grew up in a family where cooking and baking is easy and fun and empowering, and I have a very empowered state of, empowered inner state of, in regard to cooking and baking. It's easy, it's fun. I always had plenty of money to do these things, go to the grocery store. It wasn't a chore to go to the grocery store. I liked going to the grocery store. It was fun for me to cook and bake, and I share my things with others. But I have friends all around that have chosen to hate cooking, or cooking is hard. I can cook, but I can't bake. That's a decision they've made. Why? Why did you decide you can't bake? Why did you decide baking is hard? Well, cooking is like artwork, but baking is like science. Well, science is also easy. Science and baking and math, those are all easy. And so it's like, but you've decided they're easy. And that's where my husband is like, well, don't say something is easy, like to rub it in their face. In other words, cooking and baking is easy to me and math is easy to them, but maybe I've decided math is hard and they've decided cooking is easy. Do you see what I mean? So it's what you believe is true that will be true. It's what you believe. It's your inner state. It's your power. It's your perspective. So when you come up against this problem, a person, place, or thing, this issue that came into your life, which of course came as an opportunity for growth. So thank you, circumstance, for reflecting back to me an opportunity to be in the present moment and maintain my frequency, maintain my commitment, my conviction that I am abundant, I am healthy, I am happy, I am easy to love, I am married, and it's easy to be married. People will say marriage is such a struggle, it's a marathon, not a race, da da da. Why does marriage have to, you hear people say, oh, well, you're gonna have to kiss a lot of frogs to find that one. Not everyone has to do that. A lot of people find the one very young, 19 years old, get married right away to a perfect match, to a great husband, to a wonderful family, in a gorgeous home. Christian, if that's important to you. But the world says, no, you've got to kiss a lot of frogs. And it's just like, well, ew, who wants to kiss frogs? That's a belief, and you don't have to believe anything. Question everything. The lies that we believe, women, not just women, but men and women, we're, as a collective consciousness, we are believing a lot of lies. These are opportunities to get better, not bitter. I've said that before. I just thought I would say it again. See these programs as opportunities, not obstacles. They're opportunities to maintain your frequency in real time, maintain conviction. I said that. Okay. And then I don't do that anymore is a really powerful statement. I don't do that anymore. Like, that's the old me. I've transformed. So anytime there's a spectrum of things. So if you find yourself in discouragement or fear, you would then, the other end of the spectrum would be courage. Think about it like this. H2O is H2O, but vibrating at a certain speed and frequency, then it can be either steam or ice. It can have a boiling point, right? So you have to sometimes get to a boiling point where you change, you transform. You're still you, but I don't do that anymore. I used to be running around with my hair on fire, but I don't do that anymore. I used to be in fear all the time, but now I laugh without fear of the future. Why? Because I'm a Proverbs 31 woman, and I laugh without fear of the future. Why? Because I've alchemized that fear into courage. I'm strong, I'm courageous, I'm anxious for nothing. I focus on what I want, what I prefer, rather than what I don't want. I don't want strawberry cake anymore. I want chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream on top. I want what I want. And I'm not in a state of wanting, right? We have to stay focused on our desire and things like that. But I know now what I want because I can see what I don't want, because it's given me contrast. So some people say don't use the word want because it keeps you in a state of wanting. It aligns with the fact that you don't have that thing. You have it in your heart. You know what you want or what you desire, and you have to feel worthy. You have to feel worthy of those things. This unworthiness bullshit, that we are all in. People feel guilty for having a great husband. They feel guilty and for having a nice, amazing dream car. They feel guilty for having a dream house. Why are you feeling guilty and unworthy and undeserving? That is the worst. Undeserving, the feeling of undeserving, is the fastest track to self-sabotage. Because the moment you have that thing that you say you want, and then you self-sabotage and you go back into that feeling of wanting or guilt and shame and fear and scarcity. Anyway, we talked about the spectrums, right? Let's go back to that. So the spectrum of fear and discouragement, let's alchemize that and focus in on the other side of the spectrum, the other side of the coin, if you will. Or like, if you're cold, you would focus in on getting hot. You don't focus on cold to get warm. You focus on the hot to get warm. You focus on hot. When you're broke, you don't focus on how broke you are. You focus on, how do I get rich? How do I get abundant? How do I get wealthy? Not even the how, I guess. The how will come to you once you start focusing on warm. The how will come, don't worry. But you just have to know what. Like, what do I want? What do I desire? Warm. Money, financial freedom, financial bliss, marriage, love, joy, happiness, calm, health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression, right? What are the other I don't know where they were, the spectrums. Anyway, I don't know. If worry, maybe that would be peace. The other one would be, you get the point. Find the opposite of whatever feeling. Sometimes if I'm feeling really like undeserving, I'm like, okay, where did that come from? Why do I have that feeling? And how can I cancel clear? How can I get back into that feeling of deserving? Like, I am worthy of this thing. Everyone is worthy of being financially free. God doesn't just pick certain people to be rich and pick certain people to be broke, or certain people to be fit and certain people to be fat. It's like you might choose to struggle or suffer because of the collective consciousness that life is so hard. And it's a hard knock life and all of these hard struggle mentalities. But you also don't have to believe that. Like, you can ask yourself at any given moment, well, what else is true? Is that my truth? Do I have to believe that? Could I step out of that group think? Could I step out of that collective consciousness? Okay, when you go to Santa Barbara and you see the mountains and you see the ocean, it's like the collective consciousness is pretty strong there. That's where those mountains are. But that life is a struggle, and that you can't just come across a lot of money and have financial freedom in the next, I don't know, week or year or 10 years. Like, what is time anyway? What else is true? Maybe you can be financially free next week. Maybe you can find the love of your life next week, tomorrow. Maybe love can be easy. Maybe health and wellness and fitness can be super easy and fun and happy and a priority. Like the tennis player that I mentioned earlier and the athlete, he is an athlete. So he does athletic things and he has an athletic life because he is an athlete. You can be an athlete, anyone can be anything. The scientist I mentioned, he can also be an athlete. The herbalist at the mountaintop, she can also still be an athlete and fit and healthy and love her life and be an herbalist and also be happy in love and also having all the dreams she wants. Like, some people, it's so sad to me. They say, this is my greatest dream. I want a horse, or I want 10 horses, or my greatest dream is to have a baby, or to have a big family, 5 babies, or my greatest dream is to have this marriage, or to be happy in love. You can have all of those things. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. Sometimes two contradicting things cannot coexist. That's true, for sure. But I think some people find that some people have decided that this dream is going to cost them everything. For instance, I have friends that prayed forever. All I want is to be a mom. All I want is to be pregnant. All I want is to have these babies. And now all they do is complain about these babies. These babies are so hard. This baby is so hard for me. All I have is, now I have these stretch marks, and now I have this, I can't, I have this and I have this. Like, everyone told me motherhood was the hardest thing ever. I never believed it. All I wanted was a baby, and now motherhood is the hardest thing, da da da. Do you see what I'm saying? You're addicted to struggling. Even the dreams you say you want, all you do is complain about your struggles with these dreams, and that's all you've ever wanted. Some people are just addicted to struggling. They're addicted to suffering. They're addicted to it. It's like they're a martyr. And I'm like, there are plenty of people that have horses and kids and cars and trucks and money, and they are so happy. And I have a dear friend, she says that all the time. She has 3 kids, and she's like, the last thing you're going to hear me doing is complaining about these kids because I prayed so hard for these babies. And she holds that conviction. I am an amazing mom. I am a great mom. I am a great wife. I am. And she holds those convictions and those deep beliefs so high above all the rainstorms, the highest, the God of the Most High, the Most High God. Those are her most high beliefs. Those are her most high values. Those are her most high priorities. Those are her most high feelings. Those are her intense feelings. I am an excellent mom. I am an excellent wife. My life is easy. My life is great. She plays tennis. She's fit. She is so fit and gorgeous. I trained her all through her wedding planning. She got pregnant. She lost the baby weight. She's fit. Her husband adores her. She has tons of money. She lives in a dream home. She's my expander. She's my inspiration. I want to look at people like that who are stepping out of that group think of sufferfest. She's stepping out and going, my life is amazing. Life is easy. God is good. The Most High God, the impersonal energy that doesn't just, what is she so special for? She's not. She's chosen those high feelings. And that's what I said. It's not the old world anymore where it's the strongest physical person wins. No, it's the strongest conviction wins. And she is so deeply convicted in her heart with her feelings and beliefs of knowing that she is a great mom. I am a great mom. I am a great wife. So she does great things, easy, wonderful mom things, easy, wonderful wife things. And so she has an easy, wonderful mom and wife experience. So anyway, judge the behavior, not the person. Judge the program, not the person. Don't take it personally. Nothing to fix in 2026. No one to fix in 2026. It's all back to you. Take all your power. I'm calling my power back. Say it over and over again. Meditate on it. I'm calling my power back to me. My inner state is the only thing I'm going to focus on for 2026. Say it with me. My inner state, my peace, my calm, my inner state is the only thing I'm going to focus on for 2026. All of the world around me can go on. As I change, all conditions will change. The more I focus on my inner state, I'm calling my energy back. I'm calling my energy back into me, my hidden chambers, my inner state, my peace, my calm. Close your eyes, go meditate, get quiet for at least 20 minutes every day. That's not outside walking, looking around, listening to a podcast. That's not just, it's lie down or sit, close your eyes and get quiet. Let the chatter go away for 5 minutes. Let it go away for 10 minutes. Stay with it, because by 15 and 20 minutes, things will open up for you and you'll get aha moments that could never come if you weren't still. Peace is a butterfly looking for a still, quiet, peaceful place to land. Okay, until next time.